Man, there's 6 feet.
Highly recommended oak tree. They are mostly from the Midwest, but you can find them in some of the mountains in southern New Mexico also, so they're technically a New Mexico native. And they're one of the few oaks that makes acorns that are edible without leaching. So you can just roast the acorns or even eat them raw, and it's very easy to process them.
Oh, cool.
Most acorns are edible, but they have, I think it's called saponin, with like soap chemicals in them that are toxic unless you put them in water and let those chemicals soak out. They'll taste really, really bitter if you've ever tried eating an acorn. So like Gamble oak acorns, the native people would put them in a stream, like in a bag, and yeah, let the water leach out the toxins. You can do that at home by like changing out the water multiple times, but it's a lot easier to just find acorns you can eat.
You can save your leach water because it's really rich in tannins if you're like a natural dyer. That's like part of the dyeing process. So you can even use your leach water.
Yeah.
What kind of oak is this, Aidan?
Chinkapin. Welcome.
I think there was a car crash accident on I-25. I haven't seen it. It's pretty cool.
Well, I'm glad you made it. You're okay.
The freeway is very fast until it isn't.
All right. Well, everybody's here, so I highly recommend exploring this garden in your own time. There's some very, very cool trees to see here. But what our goal is to go see some cool trees in Bosque.
And I'm filming for the rest of the contingent for all the groups. So maybe introduce yourselves. I don't know.
I am Jeanette, so thank you for waiting.
Hi, I'm Tim.
Dakota.
I'm Daisy.
Kate.
I'm Aidan.
Margot.
Hello, I'm Terry.
Thank you all. I'm Carlos. There you go.
I'll share a little bit more about myself too real quick. I work at the Tree New Mexico Woodward House Nursery, taking care of the trees there. Some of the trees there are the same as some of the trees we're going to see. We have a few of these chinkapin oaks, actually. The agaritas have proven impossible to propagate so far. But I also I've been spending time in the Bosque since I was a kid. I'm really obsessed with the Bosque and our different trees and plants and animals. So I'm gonna share a little bit about what I know, but I'd also love for this, clearly some of you are very knowledgeable too, so I'd love for this to be a conversation. Feel free to ask any questions and to jump in and share what you know about the trees and plants in the Bosque.
Thank you. I'm gonna try one. Ooh, that's good.
Hey, what? Oh, nice to be seen. I couldn't tell based on everybody's response if I'd be the only one or if everybody was coming in.
Let's keep walking. Yes, it means forest in Spanish. It is woods around the river. What else? That's right, we're in the floodplain. Historic floodplain. Yeah.
There it is.
Yes. And it is a drastically human-altered environment, as we're going to see today. Historically, the Rio Grande was not one river so much as a series of braided streams that filled the whole valley. There were oxbow lakes, there were beaver ponds, there were big fields of grass, big willow thickets, and a lot of plant species that can no longer be found here today. Particularly our industrial culture has made a lot of things to use a real has been analyzing it and building dams. So in particular, Coast City Dam, which was built in the 70s, I believe, means that the river no longer floods like it used to. This whole area used to go underwater for much of the year. It was very marshy, very much a wetland, all the way to the railroad tracks.
How
We
long
would get
ago?
flooding, and that doesn't happen anymore. And that means that a lot of our native plants can no longer reproduce, and so we see a lot of introduced plants that are growing. Some of them have become very invasive. So here's some examples. Does anybody recognize these two plants? These trees right here?
Russian olive.
New Mexico olive.
That's right. We've got our two different olives. We've got our native New Mexico olive and our invasive Russian olive. They're both in the olive family. Do you all know about families, genuses, and species?
I do too.
Yeah, so what's a family?
You have a
Bigger.
whole range, and as you go further down the pyramid, you get to more specific.
Mm-hmm.
So family is a broad term for whatever characteristic you're looking for,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that vague enough?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, a family is a larger group of somewhat related plants. There can be thousands and thousands of different species in a family. A genus is a much more closely related group of species. Generally, genuses correspond to sort of a common name, right? Like a cottonwood. There's a cottonwood genus, but cottonwood is in the willow family. So similarly, these two plants are both in the olive family. A species is a specific plant, often from a much more specific region. Historically, the definition of a species has kind of been like, it's its own population. It's not reproducing with other species. But a lot of trees, we've learned, a lot of plants can actually hybridize with other species in their genus. And especially now that we're as humans, we're cultivating plants, we're moving them around, we're seeing increasingly more and more hybrids. We're even seeing wild hybrids. There's, for instance, some hybrid sycamores that have escaped into parts of the Bosque. And we, but the...
How do they do that? Is it just the cross-pollination, or?
Yes, it's in some cases there are special techniques that can get plants that don't usually hybridize can be hybridized, but a lot of different plants will just naturally hybridize with other members of the genus. As a general rule, when it comes to trees, you can, probably the majority of cases, different species within a genus are going to be capable of hybridization. I believe these cottonwoods, which are a subspecies of the plains cottonwood, these are called the Rio Grande cottonwood. They're more closely related to the cottonwoods to our east, but they will happily hybridize with the cottonwoods to our west, which are a different species. Back to the olives. What do you know about New Mexico olive?
Understory.
Mm-hmm.
Berries on the female.
Yes. It has
Shorter.
two different sexes. Berry, but confusingly, its berries can be in all sorts of different colors. They're not always white. This has been a really popular tree to plant in Albuquerque. You'll see in older neighborhoods, especially a lot of very large fruitless mulberries. They do really well here. They're a really tough tree. They're long-lived. I've seen one growing literally out of a rock, a piece of petrified wood, as kind of a natural bonsai. They're amazingly well adapted to our climate, which has allowed them to escape into the Bosque. The fact that they're slower growing means that they're less of a threat than many of our other invasive species. But they do spread themselves quite readily through their berries. which also provide lots of food for birds and other wildlife. We do have a native mulberry in the mountains of southern New Mexico, but I've never seen a native mulberry here. Most or all of our mulberries are the introduced mulberry from East Asia. Oh no. Well, the river was actually totally dry.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, does anybody know if there's water in there now?
In the
I
river?
think it's back.
Yeah, well, it was totally dry for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It became sand.
Yeah, last time I checked, it
So
was dry.
Oh,
yeah, that might answer your question about the bugs. Unfortunately, that also affects the fish. Yeah, it's really bad. And you can see over there, we're gonna see more up close. So you see that yellow cottonwood?
Yes.
That is a cottonwood that was adapted to having shallow roots by the river, the dry river. It's suffering. It's turning yellow, not because it's not fall yet. It's under water stress. Here's another mulberry. They make their berries mostly in the earlier summer. If we're lucky, we might see a few late berries.
and
I don't know. Which one makes you sneeze? Because I really hate them.
Oh, a lot of plants.
No, the mulberry.
But the mulberries are one of them. Yes, the male mulberries make a
male?
lot of pollen.
Okay.
This tree also makes a lot of pollen. I'm super allergic to these guys. What's this?
Those are the Siberian elm.
Yes, that is right. As Carlos mentioned, these were widely planted. Mayor Tingley was giving away lots of Siberian elms. They were at a time one of the most common trees in Albuquerque to be planted, and they remain one of the most common trees in Albuquerque to grow and to be planting themselves. Because they make a lot of seeds. The seeds, if you harvest them when they're green, they're edible. But once they turn brown, they will blow away in the wind. And if you have one of these near your garden, you know what I'm talking about. They send up a lot of babies, which has made them a super successful species. They're also problematic across much of the West. They were planted during the Dust Bowl to try and stabilize soils, provide shade, and they're a little too good at it. They really love those disturbed conditions, and they're one of the most abundant and successful trees in the Bosque today because they're so drought tolerant and so good at spreading their seeds. And like other invasive species, they don't have a lot of natural predators, so they're becoming really abundant. Yeah.
I just like to throw in because I feel like Siberian elm gets such a bad rap, but it's a really good local substitute for slippery elm, which is like a really over-harvested plant medicine. So the inner bark of this tree is really, it's like the same qualities for like soothing the digestive tract or getting things moving. So it's like if you're gonna I have to like take this out of my yard, but then you have this
valley. So in this area, they have tried to restore some of that ecosystem and bring back a pond.
Marshy.
As you can see, they've also planted a lot of interesting native species. This here is a steep willow. It's unrelated to real willows. It's actually in the sunflower family. As you can see, it makes these these little flowers that are highly attractive to ants and other pollinators. And these can actually grow into a small tree. We'll see some larger ones. They're pretty unusual in that they're a tree in the sunflower family. We do not get very many of those.
They do look like willows too, like the same leaves as like the desert willow.
It reminded me of oleander.
Yeah, both sheep willow and desert willow are not related to willows. It's an example of convergent evolution. Willows have little, if you ever see a willow in flower, it's a little yellow string of flowers. It looks nothing like either of the others, but the foliage and the root system that likes to access water that goes downward into the water table, those are all examples of convergent evolution where different unrelated species have taken on the same similar niches and similar appearances.
The desert willow isn't related to the sunflower.
This one's right.
No, the desert willow is actually related to the catalpa, which we will see coming
which
up.
is obvious once you know that fact.
Yes, once you see the leaves look very different, but the flowers look very similar. When you're trying to identify a tree's family, or even in some cases its genus, the leaves can look super different. So looking at the flowers and fruits can be a really helpful way to try and tell what's related to what.
There's a cultivar between catalpa and desert willow. It's called the chitalpa. So the fact that they can pollinate each other is another characteristic.
Yes,
Close.
I
But
believe
that one was created. That was man created.
Oh yeah.
yes, they did some science stuff to make that happen. I don't think that happens naturally.
That doesn't happen.
You don't have to worry about your desert willows getting hybridized.
Okay.
And they have a disease that's in it.
The chitalpa?
Yeah, it was in one of the two, and when they put them together, then every chitalpa that's created has this disease because they've all been cloned from the same original.
Funny. It's like a genetic disease?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Great.
didn't know that.
I should know the
I guess
name.
it's treatable.
Natalie is the one who actually named it, I think.
I planted one and it didn't survive.
It has
was
trouble
dry,
at
too
the
dry.
top, but
Yeah.
it's this particular. Whatever the disease is, it's related to Pierce's disease in grapes.
Oh, interesting.
Taking some seeds to try
Yes.
and propagate.
Here's some right here. This is a beautiful example.
Oh yeah, they've got those little fluffy seeds for blowing in the wind. Just like a lot of sunflower family plants do, like dandelions.
That's Asteraceae.
Yes, Asteraceae. Does anybody know what this plant is here? Yes.
Which one? Where is it?
What is it?
It's milkweed.
Oh,
It's
nice.
what?
Milkweed?
Because it produces milk
When you can kind of tell with the pod. It's like the tell for me with milkweeds.
Ooh, I didn't see that before.
Okay.
Yeah, this is an important plant because it's the only thing that monarch butterfly caterpillars will eat. That the butterflies will eat a lot of different nectar from plants. Butterflies really like seep willow when they're migrating, so this spot is excellent monarch habitat.
I knew nothing. Yes. I didn't know anything. Just walking around. A little baby in the world, not even knowing. I've already learned so much.
Oh, here's some sunflowers. And here.
I'm wondering, those are unique looking sunflowers. I've never seen this.
Kind of look like
Yeah.
These have been chewed down by a beaver, because there's a beaver that lives in that pond, or a family of beavers. So yeah, you'll see they've protected the conduits thankfully with wire. But mulberries will regrow. They barely mind at all. They'll happily regrow from the roots.
Good job, man.
And I think it's usually on the younger trunks that you see these highly bifurcated leaves, and on the older trees you see these bigger ones. But even on big trees, you do see a lot of variation too. So my sense is there might just be a lot of genetic diversity. Maybe we have mulberries from different regions that are hybridizing here. We might even have multiple species. It's mostly the Asian white mulberry, but there could be some genetics from red mulberry or other species in the population too. As you can see, these cottonwoods are really unhappy right now. Yep. The river went away. You can see how shallow these roots are. They're spreading out. This is a tree. Cottonwoods generally, their roots are very shallow. They need a high water table. And when that water table drops, they lose their leaves. They might die. So it's it's rough. Does anybody know why the river is dry?
Climate change?
Yes.
Well, and too many dams,
no water from
too
the
many
mountains.
states taking water out of it,
Yes.
too many people who can't agree on water usage.
Yes,
And not enough
exactly.
Texas.
Yeah, it's climate change, but it is also the fact that we allocate no water for the river itself. Every single drop in the Rio Grande has an owner.
It isn't nature.
Yes, we do not leave any for nature. We in fact, I believe we have a rule where you actually are not allowed to leave your water in the river. Where if you don't it's use it or lose it with your water rights. Mm-hmm. If you're not irrigating with that water, it goes to somebody else. So we have a really outdated system that like is counting on an abundance of water. It's not accounting for the fact that our actions on the ecosystem have consequences. We share the river with Texas and Colorado, so you know they're to blame too. But we need to do a better job also. Here in New Mexico, we grow a lot of alfalfa. We grow a lot of pecans. We're growing some really high water crops. They're a really tiny percentage of our GDP. A lot of them are going to they're going out of state. Like the Saudis are growing alfalfa here. It's getting shipped over there because they've banned alfalfa growing in Saudi Arabia because it was consuming too much of their water. So now they're taking our water instead.
This is sort of the reverse of what the U.S. usually does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but that water compact, they're on a pretty tight limit to get that done finally.
Mm-hmm.
The water compact, the tri-state water compact for the Rio Grande water.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't it have to be like wrapped up in the next 12 months or something? I mean, they've been kicking the ball down, you know, kicking the can for how many years? And I don't know. I thought somebody else would know something about this.
Yeah.
Anyway, they are coming up against a deadline.
Mm-hmm. Well, I really hope that.
But it's all political. They won't get it right.
Yes.
But the numbers that they used originally were from the 90s, I think.
Right.
We had a whole lot more rain. We had a period of rain.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right,
And
and
importantly,
even
and
just
that's
with
what they
climate
based
change,
it.
the number,
So-
their models are so out of date.
so where does the water in our river come from? Do the snowpack?
Mountains in Colorado.
Yes, exactly. Northern New Mexico, Colorado. Snowfall is the majority of the water here. So climate change means less snow up there. And less water here. Yeah, even if our rainfall patterns don't change locally, we can still lose a lot of water from even a small increase in temperature, and that's already happening. As you can see, these are willows, and they are turning brown. They are also dying. Willows are one of our most thirstiest native trees. They really want to live in a swamp, and they are also super important for wildlife. pollinators. A lot of caterpillars will eat willows and cottonwoods, more so than any other plants here.
Now you just hit it. Go ahead.
Thanks, Tim.
That's right. This is a catalpa, which is related to a desert willow. Is this a native tree?
It doesn't look like it.
That's right. It comes from the southeastern North America. We have two catalpa species. Maybe one of you can tell me whether this is a northern or southern catalpa.
I guess.
Yeah, they are a tree. You'll see them planted in Albuquerque. They're fast growing. They get really big. They have these beautiful leaves. They have beautiful flowers in the springtime. They do want a lot of water. I think they're made of fragile branches too, which makes them somewhat a dangerous tree. But they are super beautiful and fast growing. But in our climate, they are, probably far too thirsty. If we want to bring back our river, we should be not planting catalpa. They are not super common in the Bosque, so they're probably not a problem like many of the other species we've seen.
Were these used by the railroads because they grew so straight?
I think that's right. Yeah, here's a leaf.
Like as railroad ties?
I believe so.
They will grow fast and straight.
Yeah.
That's when I bought some. That's what they told me. I'm like, they didn't grow fast, but they did grow straight.
Thank you.
That's a southern. I looked it up.
Oh, cool. Yeah, how do you know? Just your phone says?
You take a picture and
Plant ID.
Yeah. I've heard the southern is stinky. Is it the leaf smells stinky?
I didn't.
The leaf is what?
It smells kind of like curry.
Yeah. It does smell kind of good. So you can see if you take a look at the pods. Wow. What does this remind you of? It is so much shaped like it. What are the trees? That's right. So even though the leaves look very different, the pods. If I was to open this, I don't know if I can open it, but you'd see it has seeds that are similarly long, elongated, and that blow in the wind.
So do these harden and
And they look like
yeah.
and then they drop and then they start?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And as you can see, this tree actually survived being burned. Fires were not common historically in the Bosque. Some of our western landscapes, like the Ponderosa pine forest, that's adapted to fire. That actually needs fire in order for those trees to thrive. But Bosque trees, not so much. Because this area used to be so wet, it used to be very, very resistant to fire. Now, especially with these increasingly dry summers, there's a lot of flammable material. We get a lot of fires. So
Yeah, those are.
Look at all the fiber in that
Yeah.
seed pod.
I'm not even in the seed pod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could make paper with all that pulp. Really cool.
Maybe the seeds aren't developed
So these are
yet.
relative to the desert willow?
Yes.
Yeah, fresh corn. Yeah.
That smells important.
That seems like it came from the outer.
I don't want stinky, but I'll take corn.
See,
Oh.
it's not like inside. Oh, cool. I know.
Let's fun to collect them in the wintertime.
Yeah,
There's
that's
just
really
thousands
like
of them.
the desert.
Like the
willows.
seeds.
Because it has a seed inside.
I grew some desert willows.
very fun
from
to-
seed.
Oh,
Try
amazing.
and
How are they
open up.
doing?
They all died.
Oh, dang.
So I took the ones the mom made and I dug
The
those
seed
up, and
is
they're doing
inside.
great.
Oh, good.
So
Yeah.
seeds would grow real quick, and then it just, I don't know what happened.
Oh, I wonder.
I wonder
Yes.
if the taproot hit the bottom too quick.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Were they in a deep pot or no?
No, they were little seeds, right? They're little feathers, so I didn't go too big too quick. But the transplant
Yeah.
never went well.
That's too bad. Yeah, we have some of them.
There's more as like maples, but I guess there's other.
No, you're right. You're right. I'm not sure how closely they're related, but maples and ashes do have very similar looking seeds.
Samaras.
I think they're both called samaras, which have the seed itself is at the top, and then it has this wing to capture the wind. Does anybody know about velvet ash?
No.
So this is actually a native tree. It's not as common as the cottonwoods, and it's pretty rare to see them in full size. But you do see smaller trees often. So they seem to be adapting better to the flood regime. They are also widely planted in the city. You'll see members of this species. Does anybody know about Modesto ash?
They're a common street tree here.
Yes, it is maybe the most commonly planted ash. That is the same species as our native velvet ash, but unfortunately it is it's a cultivar. It is propagated vegetatively, and it comes from California at the town of Modesto. So it's from like a standpoint of like climate adaptation and preserving local genetic diversity, it's absurd that we're growing like these trees that come from like the other end of the species range, right? And it also potentially represents a threat to our wild trees' genetic diversity, which could be swamped by the trees that we've brought in. But presumably those trees do well in cultivation. They grow quickly. The landscape architecture industry also really values consistency. So if you're growing trees from seeds, there could always be surprises, and you never know exactly what you're going to get.
Are they susceptible to the ash?
Or-
Ash
Yes,
beetle?
they are. So that is one reason why planting ashes is generally no longer recommended, because we don't have the emerald ash borer in New Mexico yet. But it's a beetle that has been really devastating to ashes in other places. It's in parts of Colorado, it's in parts of Texas. So we're one load of firewood away
Right,
from having
exactly.
the emerald ash borer here, which could really devastate our ash trees, both our planted ones, and unfortunately these wild ones too. Hopefully the wild ones will be more protected because they're in diverse forests.
And dispersed.
You never see an ash monoculture in the wild. But we do plant ash monocultures in parts of Albuquerque, and that makes them, especially because they're all genetically identical, that makes them especially vulnerable to pests and diseases. So,
Along the street.
yeah, so for resilience, we
Hey, Aidan?
are planting both diverse species, genuses, and families, and varieties.
Would you mind talking about the tamarisk again?
Yeah.
I missed the conversation at the
Oh yeah,
dry
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so
tamarisk.
here's another tamarisk. This is another invasive, comes from Asia. It's also called salt cedar. It is a tree that it was originally brought because it has beautiful pink flowers. It was grown as an ornamental and then widely planted for erosion control. And it's one of those trees that did way too well. It really thrived all across the West. You see these growing. Probably almost every single river in the Southwest has tamarisks. In the Rio Grande Bosque right here, they're not so much a problem, but in other places you do see monocultures of them.
Thank you.
Don't they drink a lot of water?
You got it. They do, but all trees need water. So, a caution was probably put up a lot of tamarisk. The water, they're also providing the benefit of cooling for all the water. Has escaped In the city, there's usually thornless varieties, but they might be grafted onto thorny varieties, and then maybe the graft escaped, or the graft grew up a sucker made seeds, and here we are in the Bosque. Yeah, you can see those are really like, even the thorns have thorns.
Or carried in on someone's tree.
Wow.
What's that?
Or carried in on someone's tree.
Maybe, yeah. I don't like these seeds. They're like little beans. The pods are edible. That's why they get the honey locust name. They're also they grow really quickly. They fix a lot of nitrogen into the soil, so they've been widely planted across the U.S. for that reason.
Sucker like crazy. This one just has the one.
They do sucker sometimes, yeah.
There's maybe one.
They are native to a very small region of the south, and they've been spread very, very widely because they've been planted. So they're somewhat invasive in a lot of the U.S. I think in Europe too. They're a pretty tough, resilient tree, but they're really not that well adapted to the desert. To see them in their full glory, you have to go further east, and they get massive. You'll see some trees. There are some larger ones. You can see right here, but it looks like they died back a little bit. They might have overgrown when they were getting more water.
I've seen them
They
in.
may have suckers. These might be suckers, or they might be fed by seed.
I have seen them in Costa Rica,
Oh wow!
and the whole trunk is covered with thorns, all the way up the tree. It looks like a dangerous tree.
That's amazing. I had no idea they grew in the tropics.
Yeah, I think it's
Great
a
for wildlife.
locust.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
they
they're
can
good
get
for the
over
wildlife that's adapted to them. I don't know. What kind of wildlife are they good for?
Well, the kind of things that will climb up and stay under the thorns.
Oh,
or
yeah,
can
yeah.
work around the thorns.
Yeah, that's true. They protect the
And birds.
thorns are great for protecting
They're
birds.
good.
Here you can see a
This
fruit.
one and that one is the same, no?
You can
Yes.
see kind of like a big bean pod.
And that one doesn't have thorns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here. I can pick it. These guys
Oh,
are
yeah,
invasive.
I used to eat
Yeah,
those.
my backyard neighbor has
Not
one of
the
these
seeds,
trees that
but
hangs
the-
into my yard, and I pick up bushels
The
of these.
flesh inside.
Yeah, once it
Yeah.
becomes brown, we used to lick those things inside. It has a
Oh,
very
yeah.
specific,
Oh, yeah. Well,
Not
we'll see if we can find one. It's maybe it was too early, huh? Yeah,
Maybe on the
maybe
ground.
they're not quite ready.
Sometimes on the ground.
Has like a
Yes.
honey type of thingy inside
Is
when
that
it's
why
brown.
it's called honey
I
locust?
think.
Maybe
I don't know.
I think so.
for
Yeah.
that sweet, the sugars inside the
Yeah.
pod.
Yes.
Interesting.
Is there a bean in there?
There is.
Yes.
That's how it propagates?
Yes. They also send out suckers and form kind of thickets, which, as you can imagine, are quite intimidating with the thorns. Although this one,
There we go.
They vary a lot. This one has very small thorns. This one looks much more like the ones that
Yep.
you see
Nice.
planted in the city that are thornless.
Can you eat these?
Can you eat them? The
they're
beans? I don't think
usually-
so. Maybe if you cook them. I don't think they're edible raw. I think the edible part is it's like the material around the beans, not the
Can I
beans
smell it?
themselves.
Doesn't
Check
taste
your-
like anything.
Check your
No,
phone.
it's not ready yet.
My husband
Yeah.
filled our chimenea with dried ones.
Yeah.
That was exciting.
Oh,
Did they all
I
grow?
bet they pop.
Highly flammable.
Oh.
It's like,
Wow.
don't do it.
Yeah.
Maybe a resin in it.
I don't know what it was.
These look different than the seed pods that the honey locust had.
Oh really?
I thought so, but I could be wrong.
My phone said that one was black.
So this is gonna turn
Says it's
brown.
black.
Black
Black
locust.
This
locust.
can get bigger and turn brown. Does that sound right?
The ones that I saw were actually smaller, and they turned like a tannish color. But I
interesting.
could
Maybe you
be
have black
mixed up with
locust?
something. Maybe,
Yeah, black locust. You can also see black locust in the Bosque sometimes, and it's another popular tree. It's not actually that closely related to honey locust. They're both legumes, but honey locust is actually more closely related to mesquite, which is a native tree that is more drought tolerant and a better option to plant relative to the honey locust. Yeah, black locust is it does grow very similarly. It looks very similar, but you will notice it has different flowers. It has much larger flowers. North Valley, two being at the right next to Valle de Oro in the South Valley. So if anybody wants to help take care of trees there,
I live like a mile and a half from the greenhouse.
Amazing.
So yeah,
From the greenhouse.
Well, there used to be a cannabis greenhouse there, right?
I didn't know that. But it's,
Yeah, you can see it from Lagunitas.
Yeah.
oh, is it still there?
Yeah, it's still there.
Oh,
I
nice.
think they walked away, but they left the structure.
Isn't it I told you that?
I think you told me that. I was going to say, aren't you?
I was like, apparently you know.
I went by and found it.
Jeanette knows.
But yeah, I mean, you clearly already know how to propagate and care for
I
trees.
do really poorly, so I'd
So-
love to help not kill things.
Yeah, well, I'd love to learn with you.
Farms.
Yeah, it's all an
I
experiment.
have a little greenhouse in a garage, and
So-
so I've been growing things. Like I have an
That's
avocado
awesome.
tree,
Yeah.
3 of them,
So a lot
but
of
I
farms
don't know what to
do
do when they get so big. But
Right?
keep me in
Can't
mind.
live outside here. Yeah.
Also, there is a workshop for grafting on this weekend. I think it's on Saturday.
yeah.
And
Down
that's at
Lunas.
Los Lunas Agricultural Research Center. So that could be a really good educational opportunity as
So I
well.
asked Ray if there was any chance that would come to Albuquerque,
Uh-huh.
That would be nice.
Oh yeah.
because that's one thing I really want to. Grafting sounds really cool to me.
Right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think we
that
could
sounds
probably
good.
make that
I
happen
could
at
twist
some
an arm or
point.
two. That'd be nice. Yeah, keep me in mind. I'd like to have.
Yeah, for
Anything
sure.
else?
I'm forgetting your name.
Tim.
Tim. Yeah. What's the best way to contact you?
Email.
Okay. Great. Do you want to
You-
give me your email?
Are you on Canvas?
I am on campus.
Okay, yeah.
you'll find
Then
it.
we're,
Okay,
we're
yeah,
all
yeah.
on
I think
Canvas.
I'm the only Tim.
All right. I'll
It's all girls.
I'll look you up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just excited everyone's gonna be there.
All right. Any other announcements?
I got nothing. Any other announcements?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a great day, you all.
Have a
So Dakota, tell us about your tree giveaway tomorrow.
Okay, so we're gonna be doing a tree giveaway from 1 to 5. It's for residents that live in the South Valley, and the first 2 hours are for Sembrando Salud participants that have already come through our program, and then the rest will be open to the public. So if anyone lives in the South Valley area and wants a fruit or a shade tree, come to Casa Barelas tomorrow, August 6th, from 1 to 5.
Casa Barelas,
Nice.
August
6th,
6th. Thank you.
tomorrow, Wednesday.
Tomorrow.
Did we
Thanks, Carlos.
distribute this from us?
We're gonna put it on to
Do you
Canvas.
need to?
I
us?
sent you.
Okay.
I sent a. I think you're part of that, but I sent the flyer out to you guys on Sunday.
Okay.
But no
Because
problem.
we-
I'm not super worried that like you won't.